Hello, how are we doing there? This is Michael Maley, and this is for journal number 5 for assignment 1.2, EDL721. And we're out here in San Diego in my backyard in the beautiful weather of San Diego. So we're just going to talk about the reflection of Simon Sinek's video from TED.com on how great leaders inspire. And we had seen this video before from a prior class, and I actually showed this video to my students last year, and then I'll probably show it to my students this year as well. But this was an amazing video, very easy to follow him. He's a great speaker, obviously, and I really enjoyed the video. I think one of the first reflections I have on this video is when he talks about the why. You know, he talks about how these companies failed and succeeded, and the ones that succeeded wasn't because they made computers or because somebody wanted a computer, but because somebody believed in what they were making and they bought it because of a feeling rather than a want. And when you have people that buy from feelings, then you probably have a winner based on Simon Sinek's research in that from the video. And then the other one I liked too was about how he compared the Wright brothers to Samuel Pierpont Langley. Nobody knows who Samuel Pierpont Langley is. I never knew who he was. But apparently, you know, he had the money, he had all the resources to try to figure out how to have the first flight. But he failed. However, the Wright brothers didn't have money and didn't have anyone follow them, and yet they were the ones to figure out how to have first flight in aviation. And being my background in the Navy is aviation, that was very interesting to me and how that played out. You know, I think the Wright brothers were driven by, again, the why, and Samuel Pierpont Langley was driven more by status and greed and money, and the why won out in that scenario. So I think that's very interesting. And he says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And another perfect example that I think of when it comes to that is cars. You know, there are, you know, Chevy makes cars, you know, and there's different kinds of cars. Like you have a Chevy or you have a BMW. Completely two different companies of why people buy those cars. People buy a BMW not because it's a car, but because of the way it makes them feel. Hence, the BMW slogan is the ultimate driving experience. So I think that's very, you know, key to, you know, as far as, again, the why and how that affects behavior in people making choices based on feelings rather than necessarily specific wants. The other thing that comes to mind when it talks about the why is it kind of proves that we've learned through these courses that education alone does not change behavior or attitude. The why belief is the with them. In other words, why do I want an Apple computer? Not because I need a computer, because I believe that this computer is going to give me an experience that another computer won't. So that is kind of how it pertains to the why and all that. And how it pertains to me also is understanding the why and how that relates to attitude and feelings. How this relates to my TCP is also, I think, very important, as you have to believe in the program and the vision statement. So as we go through this process, I've learned that we still have to trigger the behavior in my cadets for them to believe in this mentorship program, for them, the mentors, to understand. And with the mentors, they have not fully understood the with them, and that's the part where we've got to fix. So that's what I've learned from this. But I think that the biggest thing from this video is inspiration is through words that give the person the why. And the last thing I can say from that is when he talks about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King didn't go up and say, I have a plan and charts and graphs. You know? He went up and said, I had a dream. And I think the dream is to give the people the why and not just the plan and graphs, what all the other politicians were doing. So the good news is, I think that these lessons in this video and a lot of the other courses got us on the right path. So thanks for listening, and you have a great day.